Before we begin, note that while this video summary was generated using NotebookLM, every piece of technical data, from the attack chain to the incident response protocols, is strictly sourced from public Cisco advisories and threat intelligence reports. This image shows the corporate headquarters for Cisco, the developer of Catalyst SD-WAN Manager. This software serves as the central control plane for massive wide-area networks, directing critical traffic across entire enterprise environments. That centralized authority makes the recently disclosed CVE-2026-20245 highly critical. This is a severity level 7.80 day that allows a local attacker to execute arbitrary commands as the root user by uploading a crafted file directly into the manager's command line interface. The paradox of this vulnerability is its current status. Threat actors are actively exploiting it in the wild, yet Cisco has no patch and no direct workaround available to stop it. The exploit, however, contains a strict structural bottleneck. Command injection cannot be executed in a vacuum. To trigger the flaw, an attacker must already possess netadmin privileges within the SD-WAN system. This image displays the homepage of Mandiant, the threat intelligence firm whose researchers uncovered this specific zero-day being abused in live environments. Because the root command injection vulnerability itself cannot currently be patched, network defenders must deconstruct the prerequisite attack chain to cut off access and secure their infrastructure. The attack path is modeled as a three-tiered chain, starting at Node 1, initial access. Reaching the vulnerable command line interface requires valid netadmin credentials. Since brute forcing triggers alarms, attackers bypass authentication using CVE-2026-20182 or CVE-2026-20127. Threat intelligence identifies the activity cluster UAT8616 executing this exact playbook. They abuse SD-WAN peering mechanisms to bypass authentication requirements entirely. Operationally, this allows the threat actor to slip quietly past perimeter security controls and drop directly into an administrative session, leaving standard tripwires silent. An unpatchable internal vulnerability only becomes lethal if the external authentication perimeter is compromised first. Zooming in to Node 2, privilege escalation. Inside the restricted command line interface, the core failure is a lack of input validation. The system accepts data without inspection. Cloaked with netadmin privileges, the attacker uploads a maliciously crafted file directly to the system. The system processes the uploaded file without sanitizing the input, causing the strict boundaries of the administrative sandbox to fail immediately. The attacker escapes the restricted CLI environment, achieving full, unrestricted command injection over the host operating system as the root user. This specific node marks the pivot from an unauthorized administrative session to a total host takeover. Moving to Node 3, the resulting blast radius. A root-compromised central manager can push unauthorized configuration paths down to a massive network of edge devices. Cisco's telemetry confirms this. Threat actors successfully leverage their root access to push malicious configuration changes directly to edge routers. Defending this system requires a specific pivot in strategy. You cannot patch the command injection, but you can remove the conditions required to trigger it. The primary mitigation is severing the initial access vector. Administrators must upgrade SD-WAN software to the releases published on May 14, 2026, which patches the authentication bypass vulnerabilities and breaks the prerequisite chain. This graphic emphasizes a critical incident response protocol. Simply applying the software update to a system that is already compromised will not resolve the root-level vulnerability. If the attacker already has persistence, patching the front door is useless. Before initiating any upgrades, administrators must extract the request admin tech logs from all control components in the deployment to preserve vital indicators of compromise. With the logs preserved, the next step is hunting for persistence by auditing the /var/log/scripts.log file. Security teams must identify otherwise legitimate system commands being executed out of context by the attacker. Surviving this zero-day requires thorough threat hunting for hidden persistence prior to applying the patches. CVE-2026-20245 marks the seventh zero-day vulnerability in Cisco SD-WAN products to be actively exploited in 2026 alone. While this specific flaw is a devastating root escalation vector, its execution relies entirely on the presence of weak initial access perimeters. The mandate for defenders is a strict 3-step process: patch the authentication bypass, run the admin tech forensic checks, and audit the scripts.log before authorizing any reboots or upgrades. This graphic points to our channel, where we break down the mechanics behind critical vulnerabilities and cloud architecture. Subscribe to @Eyal for more deep dives into enterprise network security. In modern network defense, surviving an unpatchable 0-day means meticulously dismantling the kill chain that feeds it.